So in this video, I'm going to show you how to make a handle. I'm actually going to show you how to make this handle and how to attach it onto this mug. You can attach them to thrown or hand-built cylinders. What you want to do is figure out what size handle you need for what size cup, and also usability. How do your fingers fit into this handle? So those are some things to think about, and I'm going to show you how to do this right now. What you want to do is wedge your clay kind of in a cone shape. What you can do is wedge it into that more cylindrical shape and then just squish it on one side. As you roll it, it'll get thinner on this one side. Then you're going to hold it and grab it at the top. Get yourself a little bucket of water or something. Then what you're going to do is wet your hand, and you're going to basically just squeeze from the top and pull down. Now, if you squeeze all the way through, what's going to happen is you're going to get a very inconsistent pull, and it's going to look really awful. So what you want to do is just squeeze from the top and let gravity pull it down over and over and over again until it starts to thin out. You want to use about 1 pound of clay. Less than that, you won't really have much to grip on, and you'll have a really hard time pulling the handle down. So again, it's just a squeeze at the top and the pull. I'll show you what happens if you squeeze all the way. Comes off. That you do not want to do. So you just get the clay from the top, squeeze it down. If your clay is really soft, this might be a little bit harder to do. If it's too hard, it's going to be really hard to do. So you want your clay to be kind of more of like a little bit harder than throwing consistency, especially if you're a beginner, because your clay usually is like really soft when you start throwing. So now it's pretty long, but it's still a bit thick. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my fingers like this, and I'm going to pull the clay down backwards and forwards between them. And what I'm going to get is a lot thinner piece of clay with more of a shape to it. You can do that, or you can continue to pull with your fingers like that and get more of a round shape. But I like my handles nice and flat, so I'm just going to do it this way. So when you're done and you have kind of what you want, you're going to flip this over. You're going to squeeze your little end of the clay here so that you have whatever shape you want, and then you can kind of reshape it if you want and push it and make it into the exact shape that you will then cut off. One thing you want to do when you're doing this is not use a piece of clay that looks like this, because if you start pulling this thing, you're going to be losing lots of pieces of clay. Not only that, when you actually start pulling, you're going to have weird things happen in there. It's going to be very inconsistent. You're going to get wrinkles. And so when you're attaching the handle to your piece, what you're going to want to do first is match it up to the side and see where it looks the best. Then what you're going to do is take a needle tool, and you're just going to mark that so that you can see exactly where you're going to cut. And then you'll do the same from the top, and you'll come up here on top, and you're just going to trace downward that way. Sorry about the angles. And I'm just going to trace the line of my cup from the top, so it looks like that. Then the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to line up these two things and start to cut a little on both sides, just a little bit of a notch with my fettling knife. Then I'm going to match it up again on this side, cut that a little. That just tore off. And then on the top here, I'm going to cut with that curve from my cup. I'm going to match it up again. I'm going to see how it fits. And at this point, this is soft enough that I can kind of modulate this a little bit, the handle, so that I can bend it a little. But you want it stiff enough that it keeps its shape. So what I'm going to do then is I'm going to match the handle up, put it where I think it looks best. You can see right there, it's kind of in the center. I think that looks nice. At least mark it off so I know where that goes. Just like this. All the way around. I'm going to take that off and then I'm going to score over here. And remember to make your score marks 1/16 inch or so. You want it really rough. And same over here, down at the bottom. I can't tell if you can see that or not, but hopefully it works. And then the same on your handle. You're going to score the bottom one and score the top. Sorry, you can't see that. And then score this way. Then you're going to use slip. Put it on both sides. And then with your finger on the inside, pushing out, you're going to push the handle in from the bottom. Same from the top. You're just going to squish it in until the slip starts to squeeze out the sides. And you're going to just push in, keep a finger on the inside with pressure, and keep pushing the handle in until it attaches really well. Once it firms up a little bit, you can actually come back in and you can trim off any globs that just came through when you did that. I like to take my needle tool and just smooth out those rough surfaces.